Good evening and welcome out everyone to tonight's tackle trading onboarding webinar. This is Coach Frank. I'll be taking you through the tackle trading website this evening, showing you around a little bit, letting you know where things are, when they are, how you can find them, all of that fun stuff to hopefully get you to know us a little bit better. If you're a new member or if you're just checking us out for the first time, seeing kind of what it is that we're all about here at Tackle Trading. So let's dive right into it. I like to break tackle trading down into three core areas when I'm explaining it. And that's, the things that you do on your own. That's courses, some of the different tools in our trade center, your trading journals, right? Stuff like that. Things that you do with others, our live content, our live shows. What does that schedule look like? And then our weekly reports, our stock options and commodity and newsletter that reports that we do each and every weekend. So that's going to be kind of the angle that we come at it with. But to sum it all up, what to me tackle trading really is, it's just a group of traders that have come together to help each other out. We can't make each other's trades for one another. You can't make mine, I can't make yours. But if you have a great trade setup, I'm sure you're happy to share it with me. If you're struggling with a particular strategy that I can, help you out on, I'm happy to do so. And I really, that's what I think about as tackle trading. Trading can be really lonely, I think, because we're usually by ourselves in our office, our home office, or whatever it is. Not a lot of the folks maybe in your day-to-day life want to talk trading with you, right? Trading's one of those all or nothing. I think people either really like to talk it or really aren't interested at all. Maybe that's just my experience, but it sure feels that way. And it's nice having a place of like-minded individuals where we can bounce these things around with one another. So that's really, I think, how I think about tackle trading. But of course, that's not a very great way to explain it, right? So let's dive right into it. Let's kind of talk about first off, the things that you can do on your own. Now, right now, I'm just in the trade center here at Tackle Trading. In here, you will find a link to tradingjustice.com. It's just going to be right here. Each week, the Trading Justice podcast, it will come out. It's on all of your favorite providers. You can also listen to it directly over at tradingjustice.com. It's a very informative and very fun little addition to a weekly routine. I would certainly encourage you to check it out if you haven't done so already. That's tradingjustice.com. There's also a great monthly newsletter over at Trading Justice that is very much worth the read for your monthly routine. I would say the Trading Justice podcast is once a week. We also have the Huddle. The Huddle podcast is just a short podcast at the end of each trading day, talking about the top 5 stories in the market that day to help folks kind of stay on top of the market if they don't have a ton of time to dig around the news after the close. So the Huddle is every day after the market close. You can get this little link right here will take you directly to the Huddle. You can again listen to that on all of your favorite providers, as well as just over directly on the huddlepodcast.com. So a couple of podcasts to enhance your daily and weekly routine, very much worth checking out. Of course, when I think about things that you do on your own, the thing that really kind of stands out to me is courses. We do have several courses available to all of our pro members. Our 7-step guide to trading is, I guess, in some ways, kind of an introduction to the tackle way, if you will. While no two traders are going to be exactly the like, I mean, that's just asking the impossible, right? I think we do share some core beliefs as a community here at Tackle Trading. We do believe in taking that top-down approach and starting at the top of the market. Of course, matching our strategy to the situation that we find ourselves in, whether it's sector-wise or broadly speaking wise, right? We're watch list traders, so how are we finding and analyzing our potential trade setups? We're ready to take action if we get our signals. Of course, planning, placing, and managing the trade once we get to that point, and of course, journaling the trade. This will be a really helpful little 2-hour course if you're relatively new to trading. It'll probably help you on your daily routine and hopefully get you a little more organized in how you approach your trading business. If you're a more veteran trader, I imagine you have a pretty well-established routine by now, but I'd like to think that there are a couple things in here that could make your daily routine a little bit better as well. I think, whether you're a new trader or an old trader or anything in between, I think you'll probably learn a little something there in that 7-step guide to trading. As traders, charts mean a heck of a lot to us, right? And that's true whether we're day trading, swing trading, position trading, trading cryptos, trading options, whatever it is. Charting is going to be very important to us. And the better we are at that, I think the better we can expect our trading to be. Technical Analysis 101 is going to be just that: charts, charts, and more charts, right? Getting comfortable with that side of it. It's a critical skill set. Every one of us can get better. I've never met the trader who's 100% right in their technical analysis. Definitely something to learn in there for everyone. If you are a newer trader, though, in particular, you really want to make sure you get a good solid foundation built on your charting. So as you're, getting more and more experience, you can really start to see it pay off. So I would definitely encourage that technical analysis course. The Options 101 course is really going to focus on the option contract. What happens when you buy that call or when you sell that put option? What are how do things like time and volatility and movement impact the price of that contract? The more we truly understand why that option is doing what it's doing, the easier all of our strategies are going to become. It is important that we have a really good idea of why these options move the way they move. And so that's really what we're going to be focusing on over in the Options 101 course. We're not going to talk a lot of strategy in there. I'll show you where you can find that here in just a couple of minutes. If you've ever been interested in learning about the futures market or the Forex market, but not exactly known where to start without, making some, crazy major commitment or something like that, the introduction courses, the 101 courses into the futures and Forex markets might be exactly where I would encourage you to start. Those markets, in many ways, they're very similar to the equity markets. In other ways, they definitely have their own things that we need to understand. If you, have ever had a little interest in learning about those, can be a great place to start. If you don't like to trade those markets, I always tell this, to myself and to everybody, really, that it's fine if I don't want to trade Forex. I'm not a Forex trader myself, but I understand the market. I just don't like it. It's just not for me, right? And that's fine, right? We can trade what we like to trade, and that's what's really cool about trading. But I never want someone to feel like they can't because that market's too big for them or whatever the case might be. So we do have introductions into those markets as well. No matter what you're trading, and quite honestly, what your experience level is in trading, it is very important. I think we would all agree to have clear rules and systems in place. And I've never heard anybody disagree with that statement. But I've been there and I've seen plenty of people along the way struggle to take that from just a good saying, hey, have a trading plan, follow your rules, a couple of good sayings, into actually implementing them. For some reason or other, most of us are just not hardwired to think about our trading from a systematic perspective. I'm not sure why, but I really do believe that most of us aren't hardwired that way. But the great thing is, it's like a little light switch. Once we start thinking in those terms and understanding that side of it, I think trading becomes a lot more consistent, a lot easier, a lot less, personal, if you will. I can't recommend the system development course enough to every type of trader, every experience of trader. I would definitely highlight and get that on the to-do list. I think you will learn an awful lot in there. It really is a great course. And while it's fun to talk about charts, I love talking about charts. It's fun to learn new option strategies or new markets, right? I mean, a big part of our trading success is going to come down to our systems, rules, our dedication, our discipline, those type of things, right? They're not nearly as much fun to talk about as the run that we're seeing in the energy sector, right? But they are very important nonetheless. You'll also notice we do have a handful of premium systems here at Tackle Trading. Just to quickly let you know what they are, if you'd like more information, you can head over into the store tab, or feel free to send us an email to team@tackletrading.com, and we'd be happy to get you more information. But what they are is a one-time purchase. The system is yours for life. Once a month, we meet up with members of that team in a mastermind group. The Tackle 25 is a covered call-based system based off of a group of stocks that we put together each year with the intention of selling covered calls throughout the upcoming year on. The STEP system is our approach to swing trading, just standing for stop loss, target, entry, and position size. Cash flow Condors is another cash flow system This time on the Russell 2000, selling credit spreads, and the bear market survival guide is kind of protecting our portfolio from turns into bearish markets and then dealing with those bearish markets once we get into them. All of these, again, are one-time purchases. The system is yours for life, and we do meet up with those teams every single month. Again, you can find more information over in the store tab if any of those have caught your eye. Not everything needs to be a course or a webinar or some time commitment or anything like that. We do have regular blog content, whether it's more charting with Tales of a Technician, more on options in the Option Theory blog, taking concepts kind of from the ground up with Coach Greg over in the Rookie Corner, hearing from our awesome female trading community over the Women in Trading blog. So these are just going to be relatively short reads, just additional ways that we can reach out and share ideas with our team. Very much worth incorporating into your weekly routine. Definitely keep an eye out for those blogs. Over in the Trade Center, you'll find a link to our events calendar, a link to our trading journals. It is a very important part of the process. We do need to journal our trades, not just to stay organized, but so we can make targeted adjustments to our trading based very specifically on what we are experiencing, right? And so if you're journaling your trades already, I'm very happy to hear that. If you're not, no time like the present, get that up and running. You'll find the links to the trade journal, to the cash flow spreadsheet, the portfolio journal, all in that link right there. You'll also find a link to the trading glossary. If you go, let's start here though, and let's really dive into the Tackle Trading Playbook. The Tackle Trading Playbook is where you're going to find all of our strategies and our rules for those strategies. We're going to break our strategies into three core areas based on the option Greeks: Delta, Theta, and Vega. Delta is our directional playbook. This is when I think this stock is going from point A to point B. This broke out of $50. I think it's going to 55. This just broke major support at $27. I think it's working down to 25, moving from point A to point B type of trades, right? So that's going to, of course, be buying stock and selling stock short, but that's also going to be things like buying calls or puts, doing debit spreads, doing diagonal spreads, right? So these are movement-based trades that we're making over in the Delta playbook. Then over in the Theta playbook, that's the cash flow side, right? T for time. That's where we're selling options, bringing in that premium and taking advantage of the one guarantee there is, which is that time is going to pass, right? So that's going to be things like selling covered calls against shares that we own, selling naked puts, credit spreads, condors, things of that nature. So this is the selling side of options that you'll find here in the Theta playbook. And then lastly, the Vega or the volatility playbook. These are going to be bi-directional based off of the volatility that we expect to see on the stock or the product that we're trading. We're about to get into earnings season. If you've been around at all through any earnings seasons, you've probably seen some pretty crazy moves, both to the upside and to the downside. Well, there's no way that I can know that company XYZ is going to have a good or a bad earnings report, but maybe based off of its history, I can expect that it's going to move a lot because that's what it usually does. And I might want to build a trade that reflects that, hey, just move a lot either way, right? Those type of trades like straddles and strangles and inverted flies, those are the type of trades that we're going to find over in the Vega or the volatility playbook. In all of these, you're going to have a video going in detail, what the strategy is, why we would choose the strategy, how we would do the strategy, our rules for the strategy. We'll be putting in an example order using the Thinkorswim platform as well. So if you're using TOS and need a little bit of help on the order entry side, we'll show you how to do that in there as well. There is a little, downloadable PDF cheat sheet, so you can easily, just quickly have access to those rules for those strategies. You will also notice that on all of them, there is something that anywhere between 0 and plus or minus 2. And we always want to match the strategy to our read of the situation, right? When you say it out loud, you're like, well, yeah, but, we're traders, right? We're people, and we can, get into our head that I want to buy a call or I want to sell a credit spread, right? Things like that. We can easily do that. What this is kind of letting you know where we see these strategies on that spectrum. You have 0 being flat neutral, plus or minus 1 being slightly bearish or bullish or bearish, I should say it that way. 2 or minus 2 being bullish or bearish, and then 3 or -3 being very bullish or very bearish, right? So if I've got a breakout of a, really, wild stock that tends to move a lot, I'm probably going to want to build a trade that reflects that, right? Whereas if I'm trading something slow and boring, I probably want to use a strategy that reflects that, right? And so that's kind of where we see these strategies along that spectrum. So that is the tackle trading playbook. Keep you plenty busy, I would imagine. If you go directly into the trade center, this is kind of a what's up at tackle trading page. What's our next show, our most recent post, most recent tweet. There is a little watch list in here. If you would like to build out a watch list right within tackle trading, you would just, throw in the ticker symbol that you wanted. And then I'm just going to select it. I'm going to hit this little plus button, and that's going to add these guys to my watch list. Now they'll be here if I come back. I mean, I would imagine you're going to be, doing the majority of your charting, on your personal charting platform, but it can be handy to have just an easy, web-based situation. So I don't have to log in if it's, lunchtime. I just want to quickly check what's going on in the market. Just be a plus to add it, be a minus to get rid of it. If you say, you know what, I'm done with you, Activision here, I'll just select them. I'll hit that minus button, and now they are gone. There will be a showing of one of our YouTube shows, either live or typically a replay. Generally speaking, that's probably most likely going to be the halftime report, but it might be our onboarding webinar. It might be our Wednesday night Trade Masters webinar. There will be kind of a little mini calendar. What's the next, little while at tackle trading look like? Where you are on any courses that you might be taking, so you can pick right back up where you left off. There are also going to be some different tools over here on this side. The market Skyline is where you're going to find kind of all of the big stuff in one place, right? So all of the charts for the major indexes, the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the RUD, the chart for Bitcoin, the major commodities, gold, silver, crude, copper, right? The sector spider ETF, so we can, compare the sectors, see what's going on in the sector analysis. All of these things are really, important parts of the daily routine. You don't necessarily have to do them over here at tackle trading by any means, but I do think it's important to be doing them. In our market Skyline, we just wanted to have an easy place where all of these were just in one spot, so we can just kind of, scroll through all of them in a quick and easy manner. There's also a link to the FinViz heat maps. This will just bring you to finviz.com. This is the heat map for the S&P 500 for the day. So just a quick visual of what did today look like. Still quite a bit of selling in the market, but we are starting to see, it's not always the same color, right? We saw some strength in utilities, continued strength in energy, whereas, tech continued to get really beat up, right? Communications continue to get really, really beat up. So just a visual to kind of see what the day looked like. There is some customization that you can do if you're unfamiliar with FinViz. The default is to the S&P 500 for one day, but you can look at the weekly performance, the monthly, quarterly, yearly, certain fundamental ratios. So again, it's just a visual tool to kind of see what the day looked like. You'll find a news aggregator in here. This is going to go through some of the bigger financial sides. The most notably, you can see Market Watch, CNBC, the Times, the Wall Street Journal. Just kind of get these headlines in one spot so I can just kind of scroll through, and if something catches my eye and I want to read more about it, great. Just really designed to save a bunch of clicks bouncing around between, several financial websites. You'll find a link to the economic calendar so you can see what's on the docket for the day or for the upcoming trading week. Another link to our market reports, which you'll also find up here, and we'll talk about here shortly. Another page for our trade journals. In here, if you're struggling and need a little bit of help in using those journals, there is a tutorial in the Trade Center that can hopefully get you a little bit more comfortable using those. There's a companion gain calculator, another link to a chart if you ever need one, another link to our glossary, our search function, which you can also find our search function, this little magnifying glass up here. And it is pretty smart if you're ever looking for something. It could be a great place to start. Never hesitate to reach out and ask us. We're always happy to assist. But a lot of times, if you're just looking for more information on, poor boy covered calls, just going to throw in a poor boy in there. Let's see what we can find. It's going to show us all results. And we've got discussion from the Cash Flow Club, write up in a blog. We've got a two-parter on covered calls versus poor boy covered calls. So it can be a very easy way to find more information on a particular subject or strategy that you are looking for. The tackle today is our daily email. If you would like to sign up for it, just go into Tackle Today. You can sign up for the daily email right in here. We will also post the write-up in this page as well. It will be delivered faster to your inbox, but if for whatever reason you prefer to read it, right over here at Tackle Trading, you can do that as well. So that's going to kind of sum up a lot of the things that you can do on your own, whether it's from a learning point of view, from a addition to your routine point of view, whatever it might be. Hopefully that explains that to you. Now let's talk a little bit about the schedule and things that you can do with others. One of the great parts being part of a trading community is the community side of it, right? So let's start with each market day. Every market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, we're going to do our Traders Lounge. We get together for an hour here at Tackle Trading where we can answer our team's questions, whatever they might be. So maybe you're struggling with a particular strategy, and it would be helpful to kind of walk through from beginning to end, on an actual, example. Maybe you've got a trade set up that you wanted to get some eyeballs on and wanted to see if you were, see what other traders were seeing when they looked at that chart. Maybe you want to bounce some management ideas around with a trade that you've got going on. Maybe you're struggling with your routine and want to get some feedback from other folks to simplify yours. I mean, who knows, right? We all have questions from time to time. We need to have a place where we can, answer those questions for our team. And that's exactly what we're doing every market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern in our Traders Lounge. You are always welcome in there. Your question is always welcome in there. There's nothing too basic. There's nothing too advanced. You are always welcome to bring your questions to us in that Traders Lounge. We are not going to regularly record the Traders Lounge because, quite honestly, I mean, no one's going to go back and watch one from a year ago, right? But we will record snippets and get them posted in this, directly right in the actual link to the Traders Lounge. Things that'll be just as useful next week, next month, next year, right? Building a broken wing butterfly, for example, from last week. The example will probably change a lot, right? As depending on when we look at that video, but what it is and how we do it, that will always remain the same. So if your schedule is such that you can't make it to the lounge, but you have a question, don't hesitate to let us know. Drop it in us an email. Say, hey guys, look, I've got a question on this. I'd love to get in that lounge, but I can't because I'm at work or whatever. We'd be happy to do our best to accommodate you, get a recorded snippet and get it placed in here so you can get the answers and the help that you need. So every market day, I mean, pretty much Monday through Friday, but more accurately, every market morning. Right. Then we head over to our YouTube channel at 12:30 Eastern for the Tackle Trading Halftime Report. That's where we're really going through that daily routine, right? Taking that top-down approach of what's going on in the market today. How is it impacting our charts? How the different, components of the market look, be it the S&P, crude, gold, Bitcoin, stocks in the news, sector analysis, all of that fun stuff as we go through that daily routine. That's live on YouTube at 12:30 Eastern time, about the halfway point of the trading day, each and every trading day. So we will be working through the markets with the team every single day here at Tackle Trading in the Traders Lounge at 11, and then over on our YouTube channel at 12:30 with the halftime report. So you will definitely have other traders to hang around with, that's for sure. Then we're going to have our evening schedule. On Tuesday nights, we do what I would consider our flagship show, and that's the Coaches Show, Tuesday nights, live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It is recorded and archived, so if that's an inconvenient time, or if you need to rewatch it, or if you want to watch a previous episode on a subject that really is interesting to you, very easy to do. You'll find all the archives there in that link. The Coaches Show is really cool for a couple of things. I mean, it's Tuesday night. We're a couple days into the trading week. Right? What's standing out? We'll do a quick overview of the market, what areas are standing out, whether it's from a bullish or a bearish point of view. But what I really, really like about the Coaches Show is it lets us, take one of the concepts, and there's a lot of them that we could talk about in trading, right? from strategies to indicators to portfolio design to buying insurance to particular patterns, and those are just some of the bigger ones, right? And it really allows us to take one of those topics and have a really in-depth discussion on that subject. We'll always try to keep it in line with what's going on in the market. If the market's struggling like it has over the last couple of weeks, we're probably not going to talk a whole lot about breakout trading, because quite honestly, that's not particularly relevant to the market right now. It will be again, I have no doubt, but today, not so much. We'll always keep it topical as well. That's Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I would certainly encourage you to make time each week. We'd love to have you live, but hey, I get it. Schedules are schedules, but I would make time to catch that coach's show each and every week. On Thursdays, also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we're going to do our cash flow club. This is going to be a little more narrowly focused on, spoiler alert, cash flow strategies, right? So building and managing those cash flow strategies, those covered calls, those credit spreads, those condors, those naked puts, things along those lines. It's important. I guess the hard part about any trade isn't learning how to do that strategy, right? It's not hard to learn how to do a bull put credit spread. It is until it isn't, right? When you first get into it, you're like, wow, this is crazy and weird. I don't get it. But once you get it, you're never going to forget how to do a bull put credit spread, right? The tricky part is making sure we have management strategies and techniques that we can use as that trade's moving along. So we'll not just talk about building, but we'll also talk a lot about managing those cash flow trades each Thursday night in the Cash Flow Club. Just like the coach's show, it is recorded and archived. So if you can't make it, or if you want to watch it over again, or whatever the case might be, you'll find the archives just directly in that link. On Wednesday nights, we do a twofer. So I'm going to hop over into the Trade Center, into the events calendar. I think it's a little easier, and this is also a great time to show you the events calendar, and hopefully this will help you out on that side of things. On Wednesday night, right here on our YouTube channel at 7 Eastern, we do our Trade Masters webinar. A couple of the coaches will get together and bring some trade ideas to bounce around with one another and with members of the team. The team will vote on whose trade ideas they like the most, and that coach is declared the trade master for the week. It really is a lot of fun. Really what it's meant to do is to have a place where we can share ideas with one another and with our community, right? Never a bad way to get some trade ideas, right? You probably won't like them all, and that's very normal. You probably will like some, and it's always about what you do like, right? Not what you don't like as far as trades are concerned. So that's going to be what we're doing every Wednesday night at 7 Eastern. Right here on our YouTube channel. Then shortly after that, we're going to head back over to Tackle Trading to do our Wednesday night Traders Lounge. Our Wednesday night lounge is at 8:30 Eastern. It's a place where we can go into any further depth on the trade ideas that we discussed in our YouTube show, and answer any questions that our team might be having about those setups or trade ideas. But it's also, like any of our trading labs, just a place where you can get in and ask your questions and get some help if you need. Again, maybe you're scheduled, maybe you're at work, Monday through Friday at 11 Eastern, but maybe you can get into that nightly lounge on Wednesday nights at 8:30 to get to hang out with the team and to get your questions answered. So Wednesday night, it is kind of a twofer. As you can see here, kind of in this calendar, the link to any show will be here for us. So it's if I'm ready to go into the coach's show, obviously it's not right now, but I can find all the information where that show is, get the link for the Zoom if that's where it is or whatever. Very, very easy to do. So that's going to be the weekly schedule. On Mondays, we do our onboarding webinar, just kind of walking through folks that are new to tackle trading through the site like we're doing right now. No two are tremendously different from one another. If you ever feel it'd be helpful, you're always welcome to catch the replay or catch the live showing on Monday nights, but don't feel obligated to do so. Next week's going to be an awful lot like this one, because it really is just designed to hopefully help people get a better idea of where things are and what they are, and who we are here at Tackle Trading. We also have, as I mentioned earlier, a tremendous team of female traders with us here at Tackle Trading. They get together about once a month in their Women in Trading Mastermind group. It tends to be towards the end of the month. As you can imagine, I don't get to go which is fine. I'm, kind of jealous because I know they're having fun and getting some good work done in there, but that is okay, fellas. Like myself, you'll have to find something else to do that evening. But if you are a woman in trading, or if you know a woman in trading, if you've got a wife, a sister, a mother, a friend, a daughter, a niece, whatever that's interested in trading, I would definitely connect her with the lovely ladies of Tackle Trading and get in that Women in Trading Mastermind group. I have no doubt that it will be a great value to her. So we'll keep you posted on that one. It does tend to be towards the end of the month. As we approach it, we will be promoting it, make sure the team is aware of when exactly it is. But if you're a woman in trading, I would definitely encourage you to take part in that. I have no doubt you'll have a great time and get some really good ideas in there. So that is the schedule. Kind of an oversimplified way to think about it is the morning lounge is really a Q&A, right? It's really where your questions, your personal questions can be answered live and in person. The halftime report is really for that daily routine where we can really focus on working through the market. And the evening shows are where we can kind of put on that teacher's hat a little bit, go into much more detail and kind of do the teaching side of the equation. And while that is overly simplifying it, that is maybe a way to kind of keep it organized as you're getting to know us a little bit better. As we kind of work into that third area, and that's our weekend reports, let me kind of let you know how these come together on Fridays. As the market's closing down for the week, as a team of coaches, we're all getting together here in what we call our scouting report meeting. We're talking markets, sectors, commodities, currencies, trade setups, game plans going into the upcoming week. And out of that scouting report meeting comes our weekend reports. We'll get these delivered to the team by Saturday afternoon, so they have plenty of time to get through any or all of them before the market opens back up. So that's kind of how they come together. Now let's talk a little bit about what they are. You always want to start at the top, right? And that's exactly what we're doing in the Tackle newsletter each week. In here, we're kind of, hey, what's going on in the market, right? The storyline of the last week, right? What's moving, what's shaking? How is the market behaving? What was the economic data? Right? How are the different sectors? All of that fun stuff to make sure that we're all on the same page as far as what the market did. We might think it's going to do different things, but it did the same thing for all of us, right? And so we'll let you know what the upcoming economic schedule is looking like. Of course, we'll have a video, going in detail on all of the stuff that we're talking about here. Where is the broad market? The technicals on the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, right? The Etfs are here if you need them. These, if you're unfamiliar, I imagine you probably are familiar, but just in case you're not, DIA tracks the diamonds, or tracks the Dow Jones. I'm sorry, the diamonds track the Dow Jones. QQQ tracks the NASDAQ. IWM tracks the RUT, and SPY tracks the S&P 500. These are optionable, very liquid ETFs. So if I want to, buy insurance on the whole market, I might trade, buy a put or do a put spread on the SPY. If I'm liking a particular, segment, I really like the RUT at support. I'd like to build a trade around that. I can use the IWM, so they can be handy additions for sure. The highs versus lows. Basically, hey, how many stocks? This is looking at over 8,000 stocks. How many stocks are making new highs versus how many are making new lows? That's going to really help give us a better idea of the relative strength or weakness of the market. Sometimes when we look at just an index, it can be a little bit misleading because of the way that they're weighted, or there's not a lot of stocks in there, or whatever the case might be. So this is taking a closer look at really the internals of the market to show, right now, it's not looking great for the bulls, at least, right? How's the events decliner looking? Now, every week we're going to rank the sectors, and we're going to rank them based off of those sector ETFs and the stocks that are within the sector themselves, not the ETF itself, but the stocks that make up that sector. Again, the sector spider ETFs, you'll find them down here. If you're unfamiliar with them, I would definitely get familiar with them. What they do is they're an ETF based off the S&P 500. And what they'll do is pull out just the stocks in a particular sector. XLE, for example, is the energy sector. Spider ETF pulls out the energy stocks, weights them accordingly, right? Because it's built off of the S&P 500, which is market cap weighted. These are built off of that, so they're also going to be market cap weighted, and puts them into a portfolio. So this is a look at what the energy sector did today and has been doing versus the healthcare sector, for example. There are two very different pictures, right? Healthcare versus energy right now. Energy definitely, leading the pack right now for sure. In the overall market. So these are just going to really give us, the ETF themselves give us a way to trade directly into that sector if we want to do so. I couldn't pick my favorite energy stock, so I just took the portfolio of XLE, right, or whatever the case might be. If you would like more information on those, you can go directly to the source, right, to the ETF provider's website, which is just www.sectorspdr.com, where you can see exactly how they're built, who's in them, how are they weighted, all of that fun stuff. But that's how we're going to be ranking the sectors. We're going to break our sectors into three areas: growth, cyclical, and defensive. Our growth areas of the market are going to be technology, communications, and discretionary. So software stocks, semiconductor stocks, social media stocks, Disney, whatever it is, right? I don't know how you would just sum it up in one word. So Netflix, the discretionary McDonald's, Home Depot, Amazon, right? Those type of things. Then we're going to have the cyclical side of the market. That's going to include financials, industrials, energy, and basic materials. And then lastly, the defensive areas of the market: healthcare, consumer staples, real estate, utilities, right? These things aren't going to, have a one-to-one correlation, but they do kind of have, tend to run on the similar type of themes, I would say, as a whole, at least. And so the growth will be represented in blue, cyclical will be represented in yellow, and the defensives will be in this plum purpley color. I don't know exactly what color that is. It looks plum to me, but maybe I'm just wrong and I don't know what plum is. So I guess that doesn't matter too much. Each week we're going to rank these sectors based off of what we're seeing on the components within them, right? And so we're going to be adjusting them, more bullish, slightly, more bullish, more bearish, not moved, not changed at all as the weeks go by. We'll kind of talk you through kind of what we're, the whole thought process in the video. This is just a quick visual so you can kind of see we're not particularly aggressive here at Tackle Trading. So it's going to be fairly unlikely that you'll ever see us put an entire sector into plus or minus 3 territory. While that's very normal for an individual stock to say, wow, I'm really bearish on that, or I'm really bullish on that, I'm a +3, I'm as bullish as you can get. It's a little harder to do that on an entire sector or an entire market. You never say never, but I would not expect it, quite honestly. And in the event that we ever see it, it'll be a pretty rare type of situation, because that's not really who we are. As you can see here, it's kind of put on a football field. So, between the 40s, we're in that neutral territory, maybe skewed a little bit one side or the other. 40s, 40 to 20, going to be in that slightly bullish to slightly bearish territory. And then, between 20 and the goal line, in that, we're pretty bearish or we're pretty bullish type of territory. So you can get an idea of kind of what we're seeing on the sector level and kind of how we're looking at it, and the changes from this, from last week to this week. So there is a rapid fire at the end of our meeting. We just started doing this a few weeks ago. It's been a lot of fun. At the end of the meeting, we just all kind of share our favorite trade setups that we found in our scanner report meeting. Just share them with the team. Just another little fun addition. A friendly reminder to match the strategy to the situation. Right? We want to not forget that, and we can, no matter how long we've been around. I think there's also a pre-built scanner in here. So if a particular area has caught your attention and said, I'm really liking the financial sector, or the strength I'm seeing in the strength I've seen in energy this last during this market pullback, and want to do a quick scanning of some of the stocks within that space, this will bring you to again back to FinViz. I'm just going to hit this charts button here. I'm going to get rid of that ad because I don't pay for FinViz, and this will just give me some side-by-side charts. Right? I can easily kind of see, I can't make a trade off of these, but I can kind of take a look at where they are on the chart, see if it's worth taking a closer look at. These things are really moving, shaking. Hey, OVV just broke out of a top here today. Just an easy way to look at a lot of charts very, very quickly, right? Again, I wouldn't try to make a trade off these little tiny things, but if something catches my eye, I can head over to an actual trading platform, do a little bit of technical analysis, see if there's something there for me. It's a great way to be able to quickly work through a lot of stocks in a particular area of the market. So we'll have that built up for all of the different sectors as well. There'll be some final thoughts at the end as well for the team. So that is going to be the Tackle newsletter. It really is. I mean, it's, for me at least, it's a lot more fun to go look at setups than that'll think broad market and all that fun stuff. Because I'm a chart guy. I like charts. That's what I like about the market is the charting side of it. But it is equally as important for me to make sure I have that top-down, approach to the market. It really is going to make my trading journey a heck of a lot easier. Then you're going to find the Forex report, commodity report, stock and option report. That want to really focus on the stock and option report here tonight. They're going to be built very similar in the sense of how they're built. So I'm going to come into the option report. We'll just go into this one here. And during our meeting, we're looking at hundreds of charts, usually hundreds of setups, and kind of talking through the setups and prep and trades and things like that. And we're taking the setups that we like the best, we feel are the cleanest, have the best risk reward, all of that fun stuff. Whether it's the stock or the option report doesn't matter from that point of view. We're looking for clean technical setups, clean charts, right? And so they're not going to be built any differently just because one's in the option report or one is in the stock report, right? A breakout's a breakout regardless of how I choose to trade it, right? Where they're really going to differ is kind of the teaching side of it, if you will, right? We're going to have quality trade setups for you in both sides of it. Over in the option report, as you can imagine, while we recognize 100% that the chart is the number one important thing, we are going to spend a lot more time talking about strategy selection, right? Because, if I'm trading options, well, am I buying a call? Am I doing a bull call? Am I doing a bull put? Am I doing a bull call diagonal? Am I doing a poor boy? Am I selling a naked put? I mean, there's a lot of bullish ways I could trade through the options market, right? So we're going to talk a lot about the strategy selection in the option report, whereas over in the stock report, well, that's a stock trade, right? Doesn't mean, I couldn't choose to go another route if I wanted to, but it's going to allow us to talk a lot more about the chart itself and, rules for entries and stop loss management and all that type of fun stuff. So the things that we can talk about within the report are going to vary a little bit, but it is important to note that the way they're built really is going to be the same because we want good quality setups, whether they're bulls or bears, right? Also gives us an opportunity to do a little teaching as we turn into the fourth quarter. Both Coach Greg over in the stock report and Coach Tyler over in the option report this week just talk a little bit about, preparing for the fourth quarter, right? We're going to have both bullish and bearish trade setups based off of what's going on in the market, because it's always important to have, setups on both sides, right, of the market, because, well, you trade what the market gives you and not what you want, right? But you trade what you want, but you don't get to make the market do what you want. That's for sure. So always have some bullish trading candidates as well as some bearish candidates for our team as well. The trading view charts that are built in to Tackle Trading, specifically here into our reports, but you saw them over in the newsletter, you saw them over in the Trade Center, right? They're just built into it. A couple of quick and easy tricks that you can do in this. So let's say, if we're working through the reports, it's Monday night, we're seeing if there's any setups that we are liking, want to take a closer look at. I'm just going to do an example here. I'm going to go with Uber here. I'm just going to hit this little widget button right up here, and that's just going to hide the watch list, just so I have some more chart to work with. If you smack it again, the watch list will, of course, come back. If you bring your mouse into the body of the chart, you can zoom up or scroll up and zoom in. You can scroll down and zoom out, so you can kind of see where everything is. You can also hold your left mouse button down and over in the dollars and kind of scrunch it up or down as you see fit. You can hold the left mouse button down inside the body of the chart and move the chart just so you can get it kind of situated the way that you would like it to be situated. If you The default setting is daily, right? Because these are swing trades unless noted otherwise. But if I want to take a longer term look and go look at the weekly chart, if I want to take a shorter term look and look intraday, say the hourly chart, I can easily do that. So you'll have your time frames here. Most of us these days do use candlesticks, which is defaulted to, but if you prefer bar charts, there are still folks out there that do. You can easily switch over to the bar charts. If you want to add an indicator or two, that's just going to be right up here in this indicators tab. As a quick note, it is not going to save. So if you add a bunch of indicators, that's fine, but do be aware that when you leave the page and come back, they will not be there waiting for you. So I usually just add the ATR myself because I'm going to do the bulk of my work, over on my own target platform and my own settings and all that fun stuff. You can scrunch, scrunch it down or bring it up just if you hover your mouse over the kind of wall between the volume and the indicator, so you can kind of get it sized the way that you want it to. Your trend line tool is going to be this one right here. This is where you can draw your trend line. So say we've got our resistance level. That's kind of what we're looking at here on Uber. We can also do the trend line. It's not particularly applicable right now, but it is there, right? So we can get our trend lines in there. If I don't need them, I can just left click it, hit that trash bin, and that'll get rid of it for you. You'll find the long and short trading prep tool in here as well. So this is a long, so we'll just go with it. So not going to get too specific here, but let's say I want to play, I'm interested at least in playing a breakout on Uber, want to see it take out the resistance, and I'm just going to go, 49 or 47.59, it looks like. So that's where my entry would be. I'd like to put my stop loss, below today's low at 42 or 44, 40, let's just go right there, 45.11. I've got a target price in mind of this old resistance up here, and I can quickly see what does the risk to reward look on this trade. For every dollar I'm risking, I have $1.79 in potential profits. Like most traders, I require a 2-to-1 ratio to factor in the losers that I will get. So I can say, well, that's not going to work for me. What if I tighten my stop up, up here? Would that be comfortable? What if I wanted to maybe go intraday to see if there was something there that I could use for a stop loss? So it really can help you, save you a lot of time on just the math side of it, right? Also helps you visualize your trade. Okay, well, yeah, I feel like we can get up to 52. I feel like this is a little tight on the stop. Maybe I get a little inside candle tomorrow, though, and I have a better stop loss placement or whatever the case might be. It's a really handy little tool. Again, that's just going to be right over here. You'll have it for both longs and for the short side of things. Again, to get rid of it, just left click it and hit that trash bin, and away it goes. Those are some of the big things in these trading view charts. I would suspect that you're not going to do most of your technical analysis here directly in the stock or the auction report or whatever, but I would also expect that probably the first time at least that you go through them, it will be using these embedded charts, and so hopefully that makes that process a little more beneficial for you. A great little trick is at the end of the trading day, just kind of come through and scroll through the report, see if anything has solidified, has set up the way that you wanted it to, and then you can do a little bit of prep work for it. And if it hasn't, well, then see you tomorrow, right? We definitely are watch list traders. We definitely want to manage our watch list, right? Some of these things are going to hit the entry first thing Monday morning. Some are never going to hit it. Some are going to hit our target area, our first target, very quickly. Some are never going to hit it. Some are going to get us in and then do just enough to get you in and then hit your stop loss, right? We're going to see it all for sure, but we will make sure that you have quality trade setups, in a variety of them, pullbacks, breakouts, reversals in different areas of the market. So you have some quality trade setups to work with each and every week. Again, we will get all of these reports to you by Saturday afternoon, so you do have time to work through them before the market opens back up. As we get wrapping up here, hopefully that explains the reports and gives you a better idea of how to use them. Let's just talk about a couple of other ways you can connect, and we'll get out of here today. Our clubhouse is kind of our own personal social media, for a lack of a better way to put it. It's just us. It's just trading. So if you have a question, you're more than welcome to get in the clubhouse, throw it out to the community. communities are great. If they have have something that can help you out, I'm sure they will, whether it's me or somebody else, or maybe I can't, but I know somebody who does, right? So we certainly invite you to join us over in the clubhouse. We are, of course, active on the traditional social media platforms as well. Have a presence over on Instagram and LinkedIn. Of course, here on our YouTube channel, we do a lot of live streams, whether it's this webinar, our Wednesday night Trade Masters webinar, our daily halftime report. But we also have a lot of other content over on our YouTube channel as well. Whether it's how-tos, walkthroughs, tutorials. We have an entire playlist on Thinkorswim tutorials. A couple weeks ago, Coach Matt did an awesome 2-hour webinar on swing trading. So we've got a lot of other content on our YouTube channel as well. So if you are a YouTube user, certainly invite you to do the whole subscribe and notification thing. Love to have you over here with us. We have a presence over on Facebook. We also have our own, tackle trading Facebook group. I'm not much of a Facebook user, but I know a lot of folks do enjoy Facebook. So it's a great way, if you're one of them, to be able to connect with some members of Team Tackle over there in that Facebook group. I am more of a Twitter guy myself. And so I certainly invite you to join us over on Twitter. It's a great way to be able to share interesting charts, what's going on here at Tackle Trading, stocks that are moving and shaking, all sorts of that fun stuff. So I certainly invite you to join us over on any of these platforms. If you're using them, we'd love to have you come hang out with us again. It's just another way that we can connect with our team. I hope that this has been helpful for you. If you ever have any questions or ever need anything, never hesitate to send us an email to team@tackletrading.com or to reach out another way. There's lots of ways to reach out, and we're here to help. And I think that goes for not just the coaches, but the entire community as well. So, send us an email, get in that lounge and ask, hit me up on Twitter, hop over in the clubhouse, right? There's lots of ways to reach out. If you ever need anything, don't be shy. We're all here to help one another out, and it is no big deal. We're more than happy to do so. I hope that this has given you a better idea of what's going on here at Tackle Trading, what these things are, when these things are. If you're joining us, just joining us, I certainly welcome you to the team. It's great to have you, and I look forward to getting to know you better as the days turn into weeks and turn into months. I have no doubt that this will just be good night and not goodbye. We'll certainly be seeing each other around. If you're just checking us out for the first time, I appreciate you doing so, and hopefully this was helpful as you trying to get to know us a little bit better as well. We do have a standing offer of a 15-day free trial, so you can come in and see what we're doing over on the back end. That will be in the description of any of our YouTube videos. You can also find it directly over in that store tab as well. If you'd like to give it a try, 15 days, see if it's a good fit. We'd love to see if that is the case. Either way, I do thank everybody for your time. I welcome you all to Tackle Trading. Look forward to getting to know you and seeing you around Tackle Trading, whether it's on Twitter, the clubhouse, the shows, YouTube, whatever it is. I'm sure this won't be goodbye, and I look forward to getting to know you. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, it has been my pleasure. I thank you so much for your time. You have a wonderful rest of the week, both in and out of the market, and I will look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon. Good night, everyone.